Welcome folks to the Roadster Rumble tonight, live from Motegi. This is how they will line up for race number 1, round number 3, season 7. As we take you straight down to the grid, Jack Boyd has got himself on pole position tonight. They're just doing their pre-race briefing as we jump straight in live now. And let's see the rest of the grid. So here it is. Jack Boyd on the front row with Brenton Hobson edges him out by only 96 thousandths of a second there. Wooten will start on the second row with Ridley. Roz and McCallick down there in P6 on the grid. Oliver and Losh are top 8. Glenn Boyd. And then we see the first of our Group B drivers, Andrew Dutch in 10th place. Lee Harrison start from 11th tonight with Fenson out of 12th place on the grid. It's a long track this one. Siegel will start from 13th with Gordon alongside him, Cuthbertson and Foster. Your top 16, Baker, Tesserero, Harrison and Pressel down there in 20th place. Connors, Harrison, Holmes and Hodges. Your top 24. Let's take you down. Get set to go live shortly as Jack Boyd leads us up. We'll turn down the music. We'll turn up the sound of these MX-5s. And once again back tonight with Group Racing, Group A and Group B. Set to do battle. A couple of other mentions as we roll into this broadcast tonight. Greg Holmes was not feeling well. He has made it to the grid, which is good to see. He was under the weather, so welcome aboard tonight. G'day Graham, g'day Keith, and everyone else tuning in. Dylan Kento saying not racing tonight, unfortunately, but watching along, so that's the main thing. There's a shot of your starting grid here at Twin Rings Motegi. It's a big racetrack, this one, and we're going to see lots of action as we're set for a start. Green light comes on, we get racing, lots of smoke, lots of tyre smoke, and looks like a pretty good start out in front. Jack Boyd will sweep across and get the biggest opening he can into turn 1, and he sweeps through in the lead of the race. Looking back further, the Group B competitors finding their way. Everyone's so far so good, getting through there 3 wide. How good is this? MX-5 racing on a Monday night here, Race Stars TV. But Boydie half a second leads us away nicely. So Boyd, Hobson, then Wooten. Change of position back further is Losh and Boyd. That's Boyd Senior ahead of Dutch and Harrison, just outside the top 10 on this opening lap. It's like I said, over a 2-minute lap they have to navigate here. We'll put the track map up throughout the broadcast tonight for those that don't know this circuit too well. Under the bridge we go. See the shadow of the bridge, the oval test track set above where we're racing today on this circuit. It's had many different lives, Motegi. Lots of different races and motorbikes and everything have raced around this circuit. It's a great place, a fast-flowing, long circuit, and I was surprised how close the times were in qualifying, considering what a long lap it is. So 3 20-minute sprint races tonight. No fuel stops required at all, so it's pedal to the metal and do your best and see where you can come out the other side. Looking back there from Anthony Connor's car, you can see Tyson Gordon, Steve Pressel and Scott Baker all battling in the Group B. Leading Group B is Andrew Dutch, back on top at this stage, ahead of Henry Fenson, who's a couple of cars behind him. Fenson currently P2 in class, and Mark Foster bringing up the top 3 for Group B as we complete. We'll get close to completing lap 1. Like I say, it takes an eternity to get around a lap here in MX-5, and your race leader Jack Boyd has the lead so far, out to nearly 0.8 of a second. So nice start to the race for him. Brenton Hobson under some pressure here from Brad Wooten as they come through to start lap 2. And let's jump on board with Brad Wooten as he gets the slipstream behind Brenton Hobson. So the top 3 breakaway at the moment. You can just see they've broken away from Aaron Oliver, who's in his own little fight back here. In fact, slow off the corner was one of the cars and shooting through the middle. Glenn Boyd, beautiful, parts the sea, puts himself up into P5. That's a 4-position gain since the start of this race. Fantastic get-go. He's got Wayne Losh and Harrison tucked behind him. Dean McCallick as well for Team McCallick, very, very quick in behind. And it's Damien Seeger and Andrew Dutch, your top 10. So looking good. Back at the front though, you can see the top 3 still pinned together. Gonna let the dog out. Be back with you in 10 seconds. He's growling at the door. Won't be a second. Righto, dog's out of here. Now I've got the studio to myself. Spinner in the background, just seeing who that was. Was that Harrison? No, he held it together. Just lost a few positions. They ran wide back there. We've got a good battle further back down the pack too. Anthony Connors, we visited earlier, the Group B drivers. Cuthbertson's there, Gordon's on their tail, and it looks like Cuthbertson will go down the inside and get that move done on Connors. Up into 17th now. That's 5th in class. Job done. Gordon just in behind him. Pretzel going for the slipstream as they challenge each other as well. So good opening 2 laps to the race. So far, not really any incidents to write home about. It's been a good, clean start. Let's concentrate on this top 3 again, because Brad Wooten is pushing hard, trying to get onto the back of Brenton Hobson, who's in a brand new Simworx rig tonight. He's come on strong with this new setup. It generally takes a couple of rounds to get used to a new sim setup, so we'll get a bit of feedback from Hobbo later and see if he is happy with it and how he feels now, as he, you know, even getting your positions exactly how you want them, like your brake pedal position and your steering position and seating position. So important to get accustomed and comfortable in the rig over time. So we'll see how he goes. You can see in the background there Aaron Oliver and Glenn Boyd, the second battle pack. This looks like Glenn Boyd's going to have a look down the inside again. Gee whiz, he's on the charge up to P4 now. Good overtake. He's going to hold the inside line, and he should be able to make this stick. So on board with Boyd. There's Wayne Losh as well in the background. Boyd gets the run down the straight now, and I think Losh might sneak back, as we've got a challenge for the lead as well. Hobson goes into P1. Jack Boyd fights it back, and that battle continues on. So Boyd continues to lead the top 3 battle, but this is intriguing. Glenn Boyd now back in the 6th place on the back of Wayne Losh. Losh goes ahead, Aaron Oliver goes ahead as well. So they jostle for position. We're already a quarter of the way through race 1. Cody Harrison further back, fighting with Matty T. These two are all over each other. Matty T throws it in wide. The car complains. The tyres almost let go, and now Harrison might try a switch back here. He's getting a bit of a push from Anthony Connors, we spoke about earlier as well. Connors has a look to the inside, jumps on that brake pedal. You see how aggressive these cars is, way off the track. Matty T goes for a bit of an excursion. He's going to lose about 4 or 5 positions there as he rejoins. And yeah, that was costly mistake there. In fact, I reckon he's got a bit of trouble there. He's disappeared. So I wonder if he didn't have a bit of an issue with the peripheral there with one of his driving aids, and I think it's just fallen off the perch, unfortunately. Back with your race leader, Jack Boyd, looking back. So the gap from 3rd now back to Oliver, about 3.9 seconds as Losh with the big send down the inside has a go, and he has a great go. Just a job done, good overtake. Just sent it towards the apex and held on for dear money, and there you go. You said you can't make a pass, a big dive bomb at turn 1 and make it stick. Although he's challenged back now by Oliver, who wants to get the position back. In the background of all this, Andrew Dutch, there he is, still leading up Group B. Beautiful drive so far tonight, 10th outright in this race, leading class of course, and his next rival 1.7 seconds behind is Henry Fenton. Fenton P12 outright, you can just see in the background there as well, being challenged by Moz, who's in the Group A car. So Moz will want to try and dispatch of this Group B driver as quickly as possible. Hello Peter, nice to have you watching, mate. So back out in front, Boyd, 58, gap 0.2 of a second. We see week in, week out these guys having these duels at the front, and it generally comes down to who wants to lead the last lap, and the person in P2 often sneaks by. Will there be that sort of gamesmanship tonight? Brad Wooten, I say this every week, but how strong is he in this top class now? He's right there with the top 2. And he's in for a win as well tonight. I wouldn't mind putting a bit of money on Brad Wooten, being that it is horse racing season. Everyone's putting money on anything. Stick a bit of money on him getting himself a win tonight of one of the 3 races, possibly the 114. Surely it's his time to shine as he gets in behind Boyd and Hobson. Let's ride on board for a little bit and have a listen. Listen for that tyre screech. How hard is he working these tyres with just on 9 minutes to go in the race? Sorry, 11 minutes to go. There's your gap back to the best of the rest. P4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Aaron Oliver leading that still. The top 3, you can just see bottom of your picture. Half the straightaway in front. This is the battle for 4th place. Losh getting closer, thinking about a look. Doesn't look too far to the inside yet. Next time around, I reckon. There's Glenn Boyd. We saw he was on a charge earlier on. I wonder if he's taken too much out of the tyres, Boydie. He's now just settled into P6. Still 3 spots gained from where he started the race, so good job. But he definitely hasn't got the attack that he had earlier in the race. Wooten having a look again. Let's jump on board with him. He's got to try and do this cleanly. He doesn't want to make contact. As we see, they're up towards the hairpin now. Let's listen to the way they throw the car in. MX-5 is very forgiving. You can lean on the tyres and they will drive well. In fact, I just saw Matty T posting a message that his computer froze, kicked him out, so that's unfortunate. We thought he might have had some sort of glitch. It looked like a glitch, didn't it? There's twin rings, there's the pace car standing by. Looked like a glitch, and confirmed now over on Discord that that's what it was, so unlucky for Matty T. Under the bridge, the top 3 appear. They twist back towards the start-finish straight. So there they go, onto the start-finish straight. Aaron Oliver still leads that second group in P4. They cross the line, 11.5 minutes gone now. And our Group B leader right there in the pack as well. So Andrew Dutch, P9, outright. Fantastic drive. Looking for an upgrade soon into Group A, I'm sure, with this sort of skill result. You can see the big Group B written on the number plate. So beautiful drive so far. Goes through. We've got a crash in the background. 2 or 3 cars involved in this. Harrison and Baker, I think, maybe got together, but it looks at the back of Baker's car. I reckon he was the one that copped the serve. It's very dinted up in the background there. And now Fenson also. No, it's not Fenson. It's Dean M. Dean's blown a motor there by the looks of things. So and he ejects back to the pits too. I wish they wouldn't do that, but they do. They do. What can I do? What can I do, really? I've only been saying for 634 broadcasts that we don't like when they disappear on camera. I used to have a sound for that. I wonder if I've still got it. Possibly not. So the top 3 still nice and close together. They've dropped the other Wayne Losh and the rest of the group now by over 6 seconds. That's the difference in speed. 6 laps in, more than a second a lap. Fastest lap time we've seen at 2:15.44 from your race leader. In fact, 2:15.08. No, we've got a 2:14 in there now. So Hobson's done a 2:14.83. So for a guy in third, that's a cracking lap time. Let's see what he does this time over the stripe. 14 minutes gone. Will it be a new fastest lap of this race for anyone? No, they're in the mid-15s again. They're in a 16.1 for Hobson. So he lost a fair amount of time. He's 2 seconds offset to his fastest lap time on that lap, Brenton Hobson. Let's go searching back in the field. Scott Baker and Keith Logan here. Darren Linus as well, chasing down Michael Nancaris. This is back for 23rd, 24th, 25th. Andrew Roberts in the back of this little pack too. Graham Ellis has just dropped a few positions, and I wonder if he's got a slowdown or something wrong with that car, because that grinds to a halt for Ellis, and he's now back in the lane as well. So that's a shame for Graham. Something's gone wrong there for him. Keith Logan now challenging as well. Nancarrow goes around both of them. Oh, and he disappears. Come back, Keith. There he is. There he appears again. Darren Linus 22nd, Nancarrow 23rd, up 6 positions over. Jamie Walker as well, now up 8 spots into 26 for Jay Walker in the Rushdale Automotive Repairs car. As we scroll through a few Group B drivers, there's Curtis Hodgetts, Adam St John just behind him, and Baker, who's been in the wars. This looks like he's got that car fixed. That's definitely got the rear end straightened on that car, running 29th place. Meanwhile, out in front, as Graham Ellis confirms a blown motor. Might see a few blown motors at this track. Still Jack Boyd leading. So Boyd leads Wooten and Hobson. At the moment, Brad Wooten slots into P2, holding his own. What's Hobbo doing back there? Cooling the tyres, getting ready for a big late lunge. Only going to get probably 2 more laps in. We might get 3, no, 2 more laps. So this looks like it'll be timed quite nicely to the checker. And no one's going to catch this top 3. Let's just hope they can keep it clean. Henry Fenton in the background, still running 2nd in class. He's got himself now directly in sight of Andrew Dutch, but it's 2.8 seconds the gap between them. So he needs to try and get that to come down on the last couple of laps here as Oliver, Losh, Boyd and Harrison continue this little fight. So Aaron Oliver will just try and hang on here for 4th place. Best of the rest, I guess you could say, off the podium, but on for a 4th. He's going to have a lot of work cut out for him because Glenn Boyd still showing form there, sitting in 6th place. He started P9. Can he get himself up into the top 5? He will try everything on these last couple of laps. Lee Harrison as well, due to a good performance, up 4 spots into 7th, so good gain so far. The biggest gain of anyone, Jesse, 17 positions up into 16th, so mega drive. The Lockbeck Racing car, the other driver behind, Philip Paradiso, has made up 15 spots into 17th as well. Darren Linus up 9, nearly 10 positions now, so good drive. Fantastic drive, in fact, to get right up there. Top 3 on your screen, covered by 0.5 of a second as we come into a lap and a bit to go. Brandon Hobson needs to make his move now. Let's jump on board with him. So 1 lap to go as they cross the line. Hobson closer this time to the back of Brad Wooten. Needs to strike and probably strike early in this lap if he wants a hope of catching Jack Boyd. And then in behind, this is the second battle pack now. Oliver's actually managed to eke out a couple of car lengths over Wayne Losh. That'll be good into this final lap for him. Wayne Boyd still sitting in 6th with Harrison and Seeger too far behind. So all good points and all good for the progressive grid as well. They just start the next race where they finish this one. And the man from pole position trying to keep it on pole for race 2 is Jack Boyd. Gee, he's been good, hasn't he? Been pretty tough to beat. Hobson's been giving him a run for his money, but he's looking really in control tonight with just on half a lap to go here. Wooten, will he try a big lunge? Hobson, look at him go around the outside, try and set it up on the inside. Wooten gives him space. Good driving by both drivers there, but Hobson really showing change of direction. Now he's still on the outside here. Will he try a switchback? Was there a little bit of contact there? Right out to the edge of the grass. This is helping Jack Boyd. Takes the pressure off Boydie if they keep fighting behind. They're going to be too wide. We've got still a third of the lap to go, so still a long way to go in this lap. They go over the alternate start-finish straight, down the hill, then under the bridge, and here goes Hobson trying to line up Wooten for an overtake. He's not close enough, is he? So Wooten with a good exit. Now he does have a go. Not close enough though. He pulls back in behind, and now they'll head down under the bridge. Jack Boyd looks like he's got this all wrapped up, and Wooten looking pretty strong for a P2, it's got to be said. Only a couple of corners to go now. Keep it nice and tidy. The checker flag drops, so it's going to be a win to Jack Boyd. He's going to take this one. Nice job. So Boydie gets it from Wooten and Hobson, your top 3 in race number 1 tonight. Aaron Oliver will lead the next group over the line with P4. Ahead of Losh, Boyd. Harrison gets 7th. Seeger, Moz, and then it's Andrew Dutch takes P1 in class. Andrew Dutch wins the Group B class, so good drive. Ahead of Fenson and Mark Foster taking out the top 3 in Group B. So good work. We'll get some results up shortly for you, and we'll get straight into race number 2. Jack Boyd, too strong in that one, takes a win. Alright, race results have been made available now from iRacing. Let's have a quick look. And there you go, Jack Boyd wins it by half a second in the end over Wooten and Hobson. And as you look down further, the grey striped Group B drivers, it was Dutch, Fenson and Foster taking out the win. We're going to go straight to the grid for race number 2. Usually they do grid up pretty fast, so we just flick down the order and show your favourite drivers and where they ended up. This is how they will start race number 2. Jack Boyd with the progressive grid starts from pole position, beside him Wooten. And then it's Hobson and Oliver, Losh and Boyd. Glenn Boyd up in P6 for race 2. Be happy with that. And so on. So it's let's get set to go racing. Let's get rid of the flyover. Take you down to the track as we line up race number 2. So once again, all the cars set to go racing. Standing start. There's the wheel spin there. They get away well. Boyd once again hooked it up. Great. Wooten from P2 got a fair bit of wheel spin. Will he be under pressure here from Hobson, who might just try and sneak through? No, he holds on well enough, so Hobson stays on the outside. But surely he won't get him from there. It's pretty close. They roll through turn one onto the first of these mini back straightaways. Hobson goes to the outside as Wooten goes defensive very early. In the background, they're jostling for position. That's Seeger involved in that? I think it was. Yeah, Seeger and Ridley go wheel to wheel. Oz just in behind them, and then Dutch, Fenson, and Foster. Dutch, Fenson, and Foster still leading that class. 11th, 12th, 13th outright. Having a great scrap. This Group B is fierce. It's competitive. If you want to get involved in this series, go and check it out. Roadster Rumble. Greg puts a million hours work into making this what it is. It's a very fun, fair series for all the drivers. They all love it. Anyone that's done iRacing knows how much fun an MX-5 is too, because you tend to cut your teeth on the MX-5s when you join up to iRacing. And they are a heck of a lot of fun. Damien says, difficult track, Luke. Yeah. I remember doing this in officials many moons ago, but my hopes of remembering all the corners and all the turns was absolutely shot. I used to find it so hard with this track. It's like, oh, there I am. I'm coming under the hill, or down the hill, under the bridge. Okay, now I sort of remember where I am. But I was constantly just trying to work out which corner I was up to at this track. It's a long one. Boyd leads once again, trying to stretch that away. There are 3 20-minute sprint races tonight, so he just needs to do exactly what he did in race 1. Wooten once again has come out fighting, trying to take these alternate lines to find a way through. Got to get up early to beat Jack Boyd, that's for sure. He lost the back end though, and Wooten goes through to try and pounce across the line to finish lap 1. Will Brad Wooten lead across the line? Yes, he does. New leader Brad Wooten, and his eyes lit up when he saw Jack Boyd sideways through the S's. And there you go, good job. Moves into the lead, but around the outside, Brad's going to try and hang this back, and all the while, in the background, Brenton Hobson being very watchful, ready to pounce as well. So Boyd defensive. Hobson now looking for a way through. Racing. It was side by side, but Wooten and Boydie get together now. Hobson makes his move towards the front. Anthony Connors is off the track, down in the rough stuff. Comes back on, drops the stack of positions, but Jack getting his elbows out there for the first time we've seen, as Wooten was trying to rough him up a little bit there, and Hobson, like a adjudicator, jumps straight through the middle and says, listen, I'll get between you two. Keep apart for a little bit. Look in the background there, Boyd and Oliver, is it? It's Glenn Boyd, yeah, and Aaron Oliver. Big fight going on here, back for 5th and 6th place. Harrison and Seeger, then 8th place, and it's Moz. Dutchy still leading that Group B. Driving wonderfully tonight. Chat going on between the drivers. Further back, Cody Harrison still fighting with Ant Cuthbertson here. 6th and 7th in class for Group B. Running back in 17th or 18th outright. Sorry about that, wrong button. It's got to happen more and more, I think. I am absolutely shattered tonight. long day. It's very easy to press the wrong button when it's all a big blur looking at the screen tonight. It's Philip P16. New fastest lap for Moz, by the way, so whether or not he's getting assistance from a toe here, he's just put in an absolute cracker of a run there, and a new fastest lap of 2:15.1. As I'm joined by Greg. Greg, hello mate, welcome aboard tonight.
How you going, Luke?
Oh mate, I think we're probably in the same boat.
Oh mate, yeah, I've been down for the count since last week, so I thought I'd give it a go tonight, but I'm just getting beat up, and I've decided I'd come and chat to you instead.
Yeah, man, it's good racing out there. We just saw Boydie and Hobby, not Boydie and Hobson, Boydie and Wooten get together a little bit there. It's getting a bit interesting up the front.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with this track. It's seems to generate a bit of aggro for some reason.
Yeah, no, it's been pretty clean though. I mean, it's very clean racing, but just showing, pushing a little bit, which is to a certain extent is awesome. We love seeing a bit of that in racing.
Oh yeah, it's as long as it's all above board, it's great to see.
And tell us about Hobbo. He's got a brand new rig here, so we haven't had a chance to talk to him yet, but he's sporting a new racing rig.
Yeah, so he's got the full setup now, courtesy of Simworx. So he's testing it for the first time tonight. It's got a brand new Alpha direct drive wheel, set of the VNN, I think they are, pedals,
right,
and the full Exodus rig. So yeah, he's quite an excited boy at the moment. So hopefully it helps him out.
Yeah, I was saying earlier, it usually takes a couple of races to get it all dialed in. You've got to get, feeling natural, moving bits around. Slightest adjustments can make a big difference with your sim. So I'm sure it's still feeling a little bit foreign, but as he dials it in, it's going to be super for him.
Yeah, it's definitely a big change from where he was previously. So I'd expect at least a couple of sessions for Hobbo, but probably not much more. Hobbo's usually fairly quick.
I haven't looked at his Twitch tonight, but I wonder if we can see the new rig in his Twitch. I'd say he's probably just got the close-up view still. I'll head over there and have a quick look. But Boyd still leads here, lap 4 of 12, 8 minutes in. He's once again looking pretty comfortable. He's got that margin out to 1.4 seconds.
I don't think Jack's actually done a lot of practice on this track either, so he's doing well for a track that's not normally used for pretty much any events these days.
Yeah, so I don't know if they're running in officials. I remember racing here in officials, as I was saying before, many times back in the day, and it was always tough to remember where everything was. So these guys do much better than I ever did.
They're doing better than me, that's for sure. I didn't really have much expectation tonight, but my first two races certainly have left a lot to be desired.
Well, Jack Boyd's done a new fastest lap of 2:14.9 in clear air, so it just shows how well hooked up he is around here. He's pulling away from Hobson and Wooten. He's now got the gap to 1.3 seconds at the halfway point of the race, so he's on fire, the kid, tonight. And Group B, Dutch is looking to go 2 from 2 at this stage. He is really driving well, so Andrew Dutch still leading Mark Foster, and Henry Fenson dropped back a position. In fact, he's lost contact now with the top two, so yeah, he needs to get a wriggle on, but good to see Fenson has been doing well again tonight.
Yeah, he's becoming very consistent. It probably won't take long for my lead to evaporate in Group B. I enjoyed it while it lasted. I actually tried to call the season last week, but didn't get much response. So
All right, so we've got a picture there of.
Yeah, I've just thrown a picture up on.
Flick on the right screen, so we're getting the right thing here. Once again, my computer's decided to do something a bit different here, but quickly pick the right display. There it is. That's a bit better. So. Yeah, it's a mega looking rig. It's nice and compact, I've got to say. So we'll just try and zoom in a bit to show people what a great setup.
Yeah, hopefully it helps him out. He's done so well for somebody that's sort of raced on a desk for, well, pretty much since the get-go. So it'll be a bit foreign, I would imagine, in the first instance. But once he gets comfortable in it, then yeah, I think he'll certainly become more consistent and probably a bit quicker as well.
Looks very pretty and good cable management too, Hobbo, if you watch this back. So no, nice job. He's done a good job there. But yeah, back to this race. We've obviously got another race after this one, but 3 20-minute sprint races tonight. No fuel stops required. And the Group B race is heating up as well. Just watching Fenson. Just going up into P2 now on Mark Foster, so they've lost touch completely. It's 5.6 seconds up the road to Andrew Dutch, but Fenson and Foster are going to duke this one out, I think, for the minor placings in Group B.
Foz wasn't feeling confident tonight. He, again, hadn't done any practice. The track was fairly new to him, so that's a great effort from Foz to get himself up that high.
Graham Ellis here fighting with Keith Logan. These two have a good little spar together. So nice job. And a little bit of damage on the back of Logan's car and also some damage on the front. So he's had a hit the front left corner there by the looks of things too. So round 3 of this series. Where are we off to next week? Because we did Daytona last week. Back to what's more I would call it a traditional racetrack this time.
Yeah. So and next week we've got our 2 30-minute endurance races, as we call them, with pit stops at the Silverstone Legacy Track, the historic GP.
Cool.
And then we're giving you a week off, Luke.
Woohoo!
I knew you'd be excited.
Oh, mate, any day off's a good day off.
Yeah, so next week we've got the Silverstone track, and then we'll have a break, and then back for the final 3 rounds.
It's cool. And then obviously, what's going to happen over Christmas with you guys? Still going to have some social things going on?
There is definitely some stuff planned. May even look at holding 1 or 2 major events.
Yep.
A lot of it depends on iRacing. I'm really waiting on something to be released by iRacing, and once that comes out, then I think it'll be slightly bigger than the Mazdas.
It's a different car, is it?
Yes. Yep.
Now, I can maybe guess what that might be. Am I allowed to guess, or
Yes, yeah, no, you by all means.
Is there an 86 on the way?
There is, yes.
Okay, so I've only heard whispers of this. Is this actually something that's confirmed with iRacing?
Yes,
Okay.
they've partnered up with North American 86 series.
Yep.
So the last word that I got was that it's definitely happening, but they haven't confirmed whether it will actually be the end of this season or partway through next year. So,
Okay.
But yeah, as soon as the 86 comes out, we'll definitely looking at and running a fairly major series as well.
Very cool. There's a picture of it up on the screen there. So yeah, that would be a great addition to iRacing. But the MX-5's been such a good thing for iRacing, but also such a good thing for this league. Obviously, it's such a leveler. Unless you're Jack Boyd and you're leading a race by 3 seconds and pulling away, it's a leveler for everyone else.
I definitely won't. We won't be abandoning the Mazda, we may look at, running I mean, currently we run a second league for the GT4s on Wednesday night, which, for all intents and purposes, was supposed to be just a bit of a fun get-together for a few of the boys, but that's grown quite significantly as well. So, I'm not quite sure yet how we'll go about it, but we will definitely, the 86s is definitely on our radar. And with some, as I said, probably some major prize money, and a few other bits and pieces. But over Christmas, we definitely will be running something. I don't know, what's your plans over Christmas? Are you taking a well-earned break, or?
Well, mate, the day job never stops. That's the problem. So
yeah,
I think it's that's just the new life for me. So I think it's going to be pretty full on still in the holidays. It quiets down a little bit, but definitely no holidays planned for me till next July. Steaming ahead. I've got to organise my own Race Stars Christmas party, which I do every year, and I'd love to see the Roadster Rumble be a part of that, because it's usually I'm not sure if you've seen in the past, but I put on a fun event where we have some figure 8 racing or some silly things that happen, and tend to invite all the series that have been a part of Race Stars for the year to do that fun night out. So that's all I've got really planned, but it's like I've said earlier, this is a great fun series. Can people still get involved in this series, Greg? Or sort of what happens mid-season? Can people see this, they go to me, how do I get involved? Can they jump in mid-season?
Yeah, look, a lot of people are against having, obviously, for obvious reasons when there's championships and that involved. But if we get enough interest and there are enough people, the door's always open. I will quite often argue with the rest of the admins over it, because at the end of the day, as long as people are sensible, and to be honest, just about every person that we've had come in partway through a season has always been very respectful of those racing for a championship. So, look, if people still want to get involved, flick us a message on Facebook. We're happy to work out a way of getting people up and racing with us. There's always ways and means of making it happen. So, more than happy. As I said, the numbers have sort of dropped off. A couple of boys used to race with us have gone off to try and get their own league up and running, which this happens. They're not in competition with us, but obviously with the time and that they're finding it takes to run these leagues, they've sort of decided not to race the Mazdas. So look, we're always happy. The more the merrier. I love seeing 50, 60 cars on a grid.
It's mayhem.
Some people don't.
It can be mayhem, but it's a good spectacle. Even, you guys constantly have more than 30, 35 cars out there. It's great to see. It's a big field of cars, especially on a Monday night, so well done. But looking at this race, just to recap as we hit a lap to go, it's, completely opposite to the first race. It's quite spread out. You can see Boyd commanding lead there, but then second place, Wooten, who hasn't he come on well again? Like he's going to go for a second P2 in a row here tonight. Wooten's P2 ahead of Hobson, and then and Losh. They've all sort of got half a second between them, so they're not riding the bumper bars of each other like they did in race 1.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I was listening to the boys on Discord before I came over, and a lot of the guys are actually concentrating hard on not getting these off tracks. If you can do a zero incident race, you get the 5 bonus points. So I think a few of the boys are actually cottoning on that it's okay to finish a bit further back as long as you get that 5 bonus points.
That's something that you brought in for this season, isn't it? Because it's been really successful in that driving standards, lifting it another notch.
Yeah, it's really worked well because as I said, the guys have worked out that it actually can have more benefits than fighting somebody. I mean, they'll still race, but if they realise that the guy in front is putting in good lap times, then quite often they'll settle for, if they don't make a mistake, they'll settle for that position and hopefully pick up the 5 points.
Yeah. It's very good. So we're just watching the last couple of corners play out here. Jack Boy's going to win this by over 3 seconds, and it looks like Brad's going to take a second position for the night. He's driven so well, and he's due a top stepper soon, maybe in race 3 tonight. But Jack Boyd, there is no stopping him. He's going to come across the check flag now by a country mile. 3 seconds it is, and Brad Wooten will get P2 just ahead of Hobson, who's on the podium again. So the podium stays the same, 1, 2, 3 for both races. Losh just misses out on the trip to the podium tonight, P4. Good job. So we look back further. Andrew Dutch will be the one that takes Group B in this race. Takes the win there ahead of Fenson and Foster, as it was in in race 1. So well done to those competitors. They've kept it nice and clean, and 0 points, I think, for a few of them. The way they're pulling up after the start-finish line and ejecting often tells me that they've done it with no points.
Yep.
It's a giveaway, that.
It is. They're trying to get out of the way very quickly.
Nothing worse than doing your slowdown lap, and then that's where you lose and get an X. So,
yeah.
Well, very good. Well, we'll bring the results up as soon as iRacing makes them available. Once again, we've got 1 race to go. That's 2 from 2 for Jack Boyd tonight. Can anyone stop him in race 3?
He's looking pretty switched on tonight, Jack, isn't he?
Oh, Jackie Boy.
Yes, he's also celebrating a bit of a win. He's got himself a new Aussie racing car, brand new car and motor, and is actually going to debut it in Adelaide for the upcoming last round of the V8 Supercar.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Mega track to have a debut.
I know, that was my first thought when he told me, was, wow, those walls are very close. But I'm sure Jack is more than capable of steering it.
He'll do very well. Jill Burgess says, good on you, Jack. And he's a good little steerer, not just in the virtual world, but in the real world as well. So fantastic job. We might try, we've got a little warm-up session now. I think we're still waiting on the results from iRacing. As soon as they're made available, they'll come up on the screen, but we might try and grab Hobbo for a quick chat in the break and see if we can hear a little bit about this Simworx rig, because they've come on board, haven't they, for this series as well, Simworx?
Yes, yep. So that was part of our plan, was to get Hobbo set up, and Simworx jumped at the opportunity to be a part of the series as well. So it's all worked out really well so far.
Very good. There's the results up on the screen now. You can just see your top drivers. A few have had a bit of bad luck tonight, with Damien Seeger blowing a motor earlier tonight. Hopefully he has a better shot in this next race. Are you going to race 3? Or are you going to hang out for this one, Greg?
I might just jump back over to the Discord and make sure that everybody's still smiling and happy, and I'll see how I feel. If I make it on the grid and don't make it past the first couple of corners, I'll come back and join you for race 3.
Sounds good, mate. No worries. Right, we're going to grab a quick break. We'll be back with you in 2 or 3 minutes. Righto, back with ya. Keith Logan out on the racetrack, just doing a few little warm-up laps here. About half the way through this warm-up session. Happy Halloween, everyone, by the way. I noticed that it was trick-or-treat happening in full force tonight around my neighbourhood in the rain. Obviously, the rain doesn't stop anyone. Actually, I bought one of those big helmet, you know, those big Cookie Monster things for your helmet. My plan was to go driving around on my motorbike, or riding around on my motorbike tonight, dressed as the Minty Monster, with minties, and chuck out minties, but unfortunately in the rain, there's no way in hell I'm heading out on the motorbike, so that little plan went to pieces, unfortunately. But yeah, anyway, I'm sure people will say, oh, we don't celebrate Halloween here in Australia. Well, we do. It's good fun for the kids. And anything that's good fun in this day and age, I think is worthwhile getting behind. Just like the Roadster Rumble. Last day of the month too, by the way. Monday the 31st. So, tomorrow we go back to our good friends at F3A, and we start what is around 6 for them. So flying through that series. Just on a minute and a half to go before we get back into some racing. For third race tonight, can Jack Boyd steal another one? I'm going to put a bit of money on him. I reckon he will. It's hard to stop tonight. Jill wants to know what the Minty Monster was meant to look like. I'll just try and find you a quick picture. See if I can find. I can't find. Oh, that's pretty similar. This is what they look like. At least I can give you an idea. You wear them on your helmet. That's what they look like. So I had something similar to that, but it was a big blue one. I thought it would have been pretty cool going around having that on, but anyway, not to be. Let's go to the grid for race number 3. As we've padded enough time for this one, it will be a quick start. They usually get away quickly for race number 3. Jack Boyd going for 3 from 3 off the line here, with Wooten alongside him trying to steal his thunder. Hobson off the second row with Loshy, Oliver and Boyd off that third row. Then it's Moz and Harrison. Ridley and Dutch, your top 10. Let's get set to go racing. We're just waiting on Cody Harrison to line up, and then we'll be away. So 20 minutes on the clock for our final race tonight. Who's going to win? We'll know in 20 minutes' time. Do you think it will be an upset for Wooten, or will Jack Boyd just continue to do what he does? Dominate. Revs rise for race number 3. Here we go. Watch your pole sitter try and skip away. He doesn't get a lot of wheel spin usually. He usually just sets and forgets. There he goes again. It's a perfect start in the background. 3 or 4 cars involved in an incident. That's going to be quite costly. It wasn't Sieg, was it? No, it's right down the back. Might have even been Greg Holmes, unfortunately. Involved in a shunt there. And Matty T was the other one So unfortunately, that's going to end their night early as we see the rest of the field filter their way through. Losh currently sitting in third place with Wooten, Oliver, Boyd, Ridley, Moroz, and Harrison. Andrew Dutch right there as well. Again, holding on, Group B leader. Taking out the Group B lead for the points tonight. He has done so well. In the background, you can see Henry, Fenson, Cody Harrison, Mark Foster, and Connors, who commented earlier, gee, that sounded like a hit in front for a few cars. Maybe, maybe not. Definitely heard a big clunk in front of us. Connors did comment over on the chat, wow, what a night, hard track to pass, he said, as this time Boyd under attack from Hobson. So Hobson hasn't been able to beat him in the first two races tonight. Can he do it in this race 3? Wooten's dropped back, by the way. P4 didn't get the best start to that race, as Greg's going to join me again after an incident. Didn't see what happened at the start, Greg, but there was a bit of carnage down the back of the field.
I actually said, I said to the boys, I'm starting right at the back. There's nothing could possibly go wrong from here. And poor old Matty Deserero that started alongside me, he had his wheel hard right hand down and drove straight into me. So when you
get a replay of that. Here it is. Oh yeah, he's already got it kinked over to the right. And he's going to launch it. Yep. Yeah, that old chestnut.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. But anyway, up front, it's looking good again. Jack Boyd still leading Hobbo, but Hobson, it looks like he's just come out with a bit more aggression in this third race. He doesn't like going 3 from 3 losing. He wants to at least win one of these.
Yeah, I think gloves might be off a little bit. I've told Loshy to extract the digit this race as well. So
he's doing well. P3. He jumped Brad Wooten off the start. Wooten didn't get the best getaway, but yeah, he's pushing on nicely. And I'm just watching the Group B battle with Dutch, Fenson, and Harrison, as Harrison is overtaken there by Henry Fenson, but they're much closer this race. So the top 3 in the Group B are currently within sort of a second, whereas it's been a bit more stretched out through the first 2 races tonight. So this should be good. I wonder if Cody Harrison, the Pro Karts race centre car, can attack here and get himself up a little bit higher. Currently 13th outright, 3rd in class. Good drive.
Yeah, Cody's come along in leaps and bounds. It's funny because Pro Karts Paraka, Cody runs that business, has got 3 Simworx sims also, and he spends nearly every second of the day spare on the sim.
Yeah, right.
So it's starting to pay off, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's doing well. So yeah, just watching him see if he can challenge Henry Fenson. He needs to get ahead of Fenson. They both maybe need to work together here to try and knock Dutch off, because Dutch has been in really good form tonight, and the Grindtech flooring car stands out in the bright white. He's going to head around and try and win another class victory tonight. But yeah, up the front, Boyd still looking at the gaps there. It's 0.2 of a second, so Hobson is not letting him get that 1 or so second gap. It tends to be at this track anyway. Once you can break that 1 second toe, you can start to pull away a little bit.
Yeah, anything above a second and the toe is not effective in these cars. But I did get the Goss on race 2, Luke, and apparently Henry Fenson touched the grass, which slowed him down while he was trying to get it back under control, and that was enough for Dutchy to sneak away. So I think all the boys have got together over the break and decided that whatever happens, Dutchy's not getting away this time.
And Brad Wooten just did a new fastest lap of the race at 2:14.6, so he's got it wound up now. A bit of that's toe assisted, of course, as he chases down Wayne Losh, but he's the quickest of anyone on the last lap. In fact, everyone in the 14s on that last lap, except for your race leader Jack Boyd. So they're clawing him back, and look at this, Hobson now within 1/10 of a second.
I think this race is certainly going to be the most exciting of the night. It's race 3.
Always.
It's win it or bin it time.
So a few comments tonight from different drivers on the chat saying it's very hard to overtake here. So from a circuit with a lot of left rights and a few big braking zones, you think it would be easy to overtake, but it's, as we see, a challenge for the lead here. Hobson going to the inside on Boyd. You think it would be easy to get a slipstream and overtake, but it's obviously not playing that way.
No, it's difficult because of the braking zones. I found that the corners where you would think it's easier to overtake, you can leave the braking quite late, so it's very difficult to run underneath somebody, trying to outbrake them, I suppose, is the tough part of the equation.
Yep. A bit of grip around the outside too.
Yeah, it's the chicane. That's the only part of the track I don't like, is that final chicane. I think without that, it certainly make a difference, because there's virtually no overtaking into that chicane.
Yep.
So unless you get a really good run out of there, again, it's difficult to make up enough time into turn 1.
Yeah, so you think maybe it needs more of a Nürburgring style, just one big corner onto the main straight?
Yeah, I mean, this track is obviously fantastic for the MotoGP bikes.
Yeah, it's great.
But unfortunately, 4 wheels, it's not quite as conducive to good close race, although obviously the boys are proving us wrong this race, and I think Hobbo has worked out that the sim does actually make him quicker.
Yeah, he's got it dialed in now, so he's all over the back of Boyd once again, and here's Brad Wooten fighting back as well. So Wooten now has attached himself back into P3 and getting a great slipstream off the back of Hobson now. So this could be a chance for both of them to sneak ahead of Boyd if they can get this right. And that's, like I said earlier, they might have to work together here to conquer Boyd tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I think if anybody tries to sort of get in front of Jack and break away, that's not going to happen. So you really need to get 1 or 2 cars in front of Jack and get him back into the field a little bit.
Aaron Oliver's driven well tonight too. He's sitting in P5 and right on the back of the top 4, so he's also in contention for a podium at this late stages of the night. So he is just stuck in there with the progressive grid. I do like that you have that progressive grid. It sort of gives guys a chance to just wiggle their way up throughout the night.
Yeah, it's sort of rewarding for putting in the effort for the first 2 races. If you have a bad qualifying, it means that your night's not completely ruined.
Yep.
I did get a message from Hobbo last week saying bring back the reverse grid races, but I sincerely hope that was tongue-in-cheek.
They do tend to a magnet for a bit of carnage, those reverse grid races.
Maybe we should inflict that upon him over the Christmas break, Luke.
That sounds good. Yeah, I reckon that's a good idea.
Maybe we'll do that. We'll put up a prize that lures everybody in, and then let them know that it's reverse grid.
Yeah, very cool. We're just looking at Henry Fenson here, leading Group B. Now he's got the margin out to 1.7 seconds. He's been able to drop Cody Harrison and Mark Foster pretty easily in this race. And we've lost Andrew Dutch. He's all the way down in 26. I'm not sure if he had a spin after I gave him a big wrap earlier, but something's happened here to put Dutchy all the way down the order. Had a pit stop, in fact, so I wonder if he had a bit of damage there. He had a stop on lap 3.
We have got an incident count limit where you do a drive-through, but that's 20, and I wouldn't imagine he'd get that many in 3 laps. So
yeah,
it must be damage, unless he may have blown the transmission.
Yep.
That's something that Damien Seeger's actually quite good at.
Yes, he's done that once already tonight. Went out with a bang.
Yeah, so it's possible that Dutchy's had the same fate.
We're halfway through race 3 tonight. The top 3 separated by 0.4 of a second. That's what I want to see. And Wooten, once again, this is very reminiscent of race 1 now, seeing this 3 just battle it out with Boyd, Hobson, Wooten, and then Losh and Oliver, best of the rest, sitting back in 4th and 5th, just trying to hang on, but they have just turned it up a notch with the lap times too. Low 2 minute 15s on that last lap. They're moving along nicely.
I actually wonder if Hobbo has got this down pat now and is actually going to. He does say that he likes to lead a race, but maybe tonight with the new rig, he's just working out that it's easier to make the move.
Like you said, with that chicane though, I think this is definitely a track you don't want to be P2 coming onto the main straight. You want to be leading. I don't think anyone's going to be able to draft you and overtake you before the start-finish line. Not here. No,
but you really want to get the pass done sort of here.
Yep.
And maybe that's what Hobbo's thinking, is that if he does get past Jack, as you said earlier, Luke, there's every chance Jack's just going to go straight past him again.
Yep.
So he may be actually just trying to work out a bit of a strategy.
So we start to wind down. So we're 8 minutes to go. So we'll get about another 4 laps in. And you sometimes see him do a practice. You know, he'll practice overtake and see if he can pull away a bit, or else he'll just follow and be watchful. But I reckon he's going to try for an overtake in the next lap.
Ooh, I suppose a lot of it, I got a bit loose under brakes there. A lot of it is also going to depend on Brad as well, I think. If Hobbo starts to get a little bit of pressure from behind, he may be tempted to try and, as I said before, try and get both himself and Brad in front of Jack.
He's right up on his rear bar again here, and whether or not he can, like I say, a bit of bump draft, he might push Hobbo, give him that extra little launch that he needs along the straightaway. But I'm just watching Henry Fenton, still leading class, back in the pack. We'll go and look at some other drivers to share the love a little bit, because we try and do that.
Just don't look for car 13. It's gone AWOL.
Well, we go back to Scott Baker's done well. He's up into 13th now. And Damien Seeger, who we spoke about having that blown transmission, has crept his way back into 16th in this race. So that's a 14 position gain in the feature race. Pretty decent comeback, and just goes to show over a 3 race meet, you just don't give up and you can get yourself right back up in there.
Yeah, as I said, that's the beauty of the format. It doesn't matter if one bad race. Of course, it's not much good if you have 3 bad races, but the odd bad race is not too bad. How's Anthony Connors doing tonight? He's
just 2 spots up the road from Scott Baker, who we're just looking at. There he is, P11, up 6 spots in this race.
Okay.
And just running in a little bit of a gap here. So P2 in class, Anthony, and looking for a podium in Group B here.
Yeah, because all the hot talk was that he was actually going to kill it at this track tonight. So
he's doing all right, but he's got a gap of a couple of seconds there to try and do anything about Henry Fenton, who's definitely in a class of his own right now. But we go back to the Group A lead battle. Look at this, and just quietly, Jack Boyd once again a 1.4 second lead over Brad Wooten. So whatever happened on that previous lap when we watched away, Jack has just put a rocket up it.
I wonder if Hobbo actually did try for the overtake. He was getting fairly close.
So he's going to have to pass Wooten now if he wants to try and get any chance of a run at Jack Boyd. Jack Boyd is doing what he did in race 1 and 2. He's just starting to walk away. See you later, he says. He is so quick, this kid. And the Boyd racing car, nice livery on there. It's got heaps of the sponsors for the series too, which is great to see. And love the big Group A number plate on the back too, mate. It's a little feature that you've done to just distinguish the 2 groups of cars. It makes it much easier for us, so it's great.
Yeah, we've it's a concept that we sort of came up with a long time ago, and we've sort of maintained and really like to see everybody get the decals on the car. As you said, it makes it so much easier for you. There's a little bit of a side competition going. It's a bit of a bit of an admin joke between Damien Seeger and myself, because Damien does a lot of the liveries that you see out there.
Right.
I actually did the Boyds for him, so I just letting Damo know that my livery's out in front.
Very good.
Oh, this is getting interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, this is Gogol, Boyd, Logan and Ellis, Graham Ellis back there in the pack. So I like, you just find these little battle packs, 21st, 22nd and 23rd, having a red hot go. These guys love their racing. I know they're massive supporters of what I do, but to see them all, they'll be having big smiles, grins from ear to ear, this sort of door-to-door racing.
And the friendship between Keith, Logan and Graham has grown. I mean, Graham's been with us for a lot of the seasons. He's sort of not one of the originals, but came in fairly early, whereas Keith, joined us in the recent past. But the friendship between these two is they're always having a bit of a dig, but they love their racing, and especially when they're racing door to door against each other, which is great to see, because as you said, it doesn't matter where they are in the field, they just have their own little battles going.
Yeah, kicking up their front wheel there. I love that when you see these little rear wheel drive cars lift up the front wheel, so very cool to watch. And Aaron Oliver as well, up back at the front, 5th place. He's got Glenn Boyd just behind him, so you got 2 liveries there in the top 5, mate. Nice job. In fact, the top 6. But I was going to quickly ask you, well, we've only got a lap and a half to go, but how is your streaming going? Because I know a couple of months ago you were starting to do a bit of streaming. Is it? Where's it at?
So yeah, we stream Wednesday nights, the GT4 League.
Yep.
So sometimes, or most nights, I'll jump in and have a bit of a race. I'm not very good in the GT4, but I like to get out there and do a few laps. And then on the Thursday night, Damien Seeger, Wayne Losh and myself, we grab the replay.
Yep.
And try and do, put a bit of a broadcast together and put it up on YouTube.
Very good. Where can people find that?
So our YouTube channel is Extreme Sim Sports.
Cool.
But I can assure you, Luke, you're not going to lose a job anytime soon.
Mate, I've been, as you know, I've been encouraging people to stream themselves for a while.
Yeah.
But no, I do love this. As you know, to be honest with you, I'm so tired, but I still love my Roadster Rumble. It's a lot of fun, and we've got a lap to go here. And Jack Boyd, well, he's making me out to be a liar, because I thought this was going to be a lot closer with himself and Hobson. And I wonder if Hobson just knocked the edge off the tyres in that first couple of laps, because he looks so quick, and now he's, 2.2 seconds off the lead.
There is another thing. If Hobbo happens to jump in, maybe just ask him how he finds the direct drive wheel, because I don't know if you've ever used one.
I have.
But they can be so tiring in the early stages until you get the hang of it. Yeah. So I just wonder whether or not Hobbo's finding that the direct drive wheel is great, but
he's got jelly arms.
It could be finding that it's completely different to what he's used to. Yeah, you got to dial him into where you want it to. I know how to go on a guy's Fanatec, is it the D1 or the D2, whichever is the high-end one. Yeah. And I was like, man, that's just ridiculous. Like, why would I ever want to do sim racing and have my arms wrenched out of my sockets, But the feel you got as well was incredible. Yeah, and that's I think that makes a lot of difference. I mean, Jack's equipment is, it's not the highest quality. I mean, he's got Simworx pedals and a direct drive wheel, but just to watch the car control that Jack has is incredible. Even just watching him now, the way he slides that car through the corners. Yeah, he's driven a masterful race. He's just got to come down under the bridge and a couple more corners to win this one, make it 3 from 3. He's got 7/10 over Brad Wooten, but it just shows. I reckon Brad, next week, let's see how he goes, and at Silverstone, can he get himself up for a win, because he's definitely knocking on the door every race now for a victory. He's right there, P2 again. So it'll be interesting to talk to him, because
his time is going to come soon. But put your hands together. It's a great win tonight. Jack Boyd takes another one, and he gets it from Brad Wood in P2, and Hobbo comes in P3 tonight, 2.5 seconds back off the lead. Wayne Losh, who gave a wrap too early, told him to remove the digit, comes home fourth, ahead of Aaron Oliver. And Glenn Boyd, another great drive tonight. In the background, you can just see Ridley, McCulloch and Harrison rounding out your top 10 with Henry Fenson. He's swerving all over the place. He's pretty happy too because he's just taken another win in class. Henry Fenson wins the Group B tonight ahead of Anthony Connors and Damien Seeger. He wasn't for class there. He was actually 10th outright. Sorry, 10th in class, 12th outright. But what a drive! 18 positions to get back to P12. That to me is one of the best drives of the night. So well done.
Yes, yep, that's a great drive. And so who was our top three in Group B? Fenson, Connors,
Connors, and Baker. Scotty Baker. Yeah, Scotty Baker.
Wow,
snuck in there for yeah.
Yeah, that's a great effort from Scotty. He was down the back with me at one stage earlier in the night, so he's really done well to bring it back up. I might have to get some tips off him.
Right, well, let me get a few things organised here, then we'll get the top three in for a quick chat.
All right, I might leave it with you, Luke, and do your interviews, and yeah.
Good to talk to you, mate. We'll see you next week for one more before the week off.
Yep, I'll jump in and have a chat to you next week.
Cheers, buddy.
Thanks, mate. Catch you. Bye.
Thanks, mate. Greg Holmes there, who organised this series, does a great job and told us earlier you can still get involved. So make sure you head over, check out the Facebook page, all that jazz, and get yourself signed up if you want to do some MX5 racing on a Monday night. 'Cause what else do you want to do on a Monday night? It's all about the Roadster Rumble on a Monday night. Let's get the top drivers in for a chat now, and he's been consistent, he's been fast, he's been super, he's been supreme. Jack Boyd tonight with a triplet of wins, mate. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It was pretty fun. It was a track that we don't really use that much in the sim world, so yeah, it was good to come to a different place. Yeah, I don't think many people have done many laps, to be honest, around here, just in general. So yeah, it was good fun. I think Hobbo probably had a few issues betting in a brand new sim, so I'm sure he'll be a bit quicker next week. But yeah, all in all, pretty good round.
Yeah, it's good to watch, mate. And you obviously you looked like you had your work cut out, for half of that race, but then you just seemed to steam off into the distance. Was that just consistency, or was your lap pace just on the mark every lap, and that's what's worked for you?
Yeah, sort of tried to stay consistent and not overheat the tyre. I think this tyre is a bit different to what we used to run with the newer Mazda. So yeah, just sort of tried to do the same lap every lap, and yeah, it seemed to work. I think the draft wasn't as big here either, so that probably played a little role. But yeah, just staying consistent was the main thing, I think.
Nice job, Brad, mate. I was giving you a big wrap tonight. P2 again, you got a couple of those tonight, and you're mixing it there, ready for a win at any time, mate. Knocking on the door every race now.
Yeah, mate, certainly am. Just got to try and catch up to Jack. I reckon with one more lap there at the end, I might have been able to have a bit of a battle with him. But yeah, unfortunately, ran out of laps in the last race.
Great racing to watch. Hobbo's not here yet, so I wonder if he's got the new rig. Maybe he hasn't worked out how to change rooms in Discord tonight. I'm sure he has, but we'll come back to him if he joins us. But we'll go do some thank yous for Group A. First of all, Jack, who would you like to thank, man, for the win tonight?
Yeah, just thanks to all the admins. A bit of a different calendar, and yeah, I really enjoyed tonight at a track that doesn't get used much. So yeah, thanks to the admins, thanks to you for the stream, and yeah, thanks to my personal partners, Palmers and Simworx. Thanks, guys. Great drive tonight. Brad, who would you like to thank for P2, man?
Yeah, again, all the admins, just echo what Jack said. It's been a really good series so far, a lot of fun. Then yourself for doing the broadcast, mate, really good.
Thanks, dude. And Hobbo has joined us. Hello, mate. Welcome. You got that new rig we saw all sparkling in the picture. Bloody beautiful. How was it tonight? Getting used to it, obviously going to take a bit of work.
Yeah, it was good fun. First real run in it. Hadn't had a chance to do many practice laps or anything, so I wasn't really sure how it would go, but a heap of fun, a lot of fun. I just struggled pretty bad tonight with some extra powerful pedals and some extra brittle and weak legs, and run out of puff, basically. I was cramping in the middle of the second race, so just couldn't hang on and go full speed with those guys for the full races there. We fell off a bit, so a bit of room to improve, but a hell of a lot of fun all the same.
Yeah, man, we thought you might have had jelly arms with the new direct drive there, but you've got the jelly legs.
Yeah. Well, the wheels are a bit harder to work with as well, but it was the pedals that got me. So unsurprising. I mean, this is the thing. You can sit down in a chair and pretend you're driving around and it all feels good, but until you start actually getting out there and having a go, it's so hard to sort of gauge how much effort you put into it. So I'm a bit of a weakling, I guess. I've got to toughen up and come back next week and try and go a little better.
Well done, mate. Who would you like to thank for P3 tonight?
Just everyone, like we always do, all the people for coming and having a race. A good battle up the front with those guys again tonight. Obviously Greg and all those involved with the series and all the sponsors attached to it, and yourself, of course, for the broadcast. Love it.
Thanks, Hobbo, mate. Have a can of spinach and we'll see you next week and see how you fend them off then.
Will do. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. So your top 3 in Class A tonight, it was Jack Boyd with the win, Brad Wood in P2 and Brenton Hobbs in your top 3. Now we're going to go to Group B. And Henry, are you there, mate?
I am.
Hello, Henry. Well done, mate. Good win there in the final race for Group B.
Yeah, thanks. Didn't make it easy for myself in race 2, but luckily I was able to hold on from Anthony in the last laps to get that one done.
And Anthony, P2, mate. Greg was giving you a good rap tonight, and good to see you up 6 positions to take that second in class, 11th outright. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, it was pretty hard. I was closing in on Vincent, but yeah, I was more worried about Scotty Baker. He was up and down, so when the boys behind him started fighting with him, I had a bit of breathing room to go and fight with Vincent. But yeah, I'm surprised Greg was really nice, to be honest. He's a stirrer.
And Scotty was on the charge too, because Scott, I think at one point tonight in race 1 or 2, I saw you in an incident and you had to fight your way all the way back, but up into P13, but importantly they're third in class. Well done.
Yeah, cheers, mate. I think it was 18th in race 2, but yep. Worked my way back, but no one could catch good old Henry tonight. He's been on fire the last 2 weeks.
Fantastic racing. Let's do thank yous. Henry, first of all, with the win in Group B. Who would you like to thank, man?
I just want to thank Stockmans for their support, Damien Seeger for the paint scheme, and everyone involved, and you as well for making it happen and giving us a way to watch it.
No worries, mate. Great drive for a win in class. And Anthony, P2, one step off the top, mate. Who would you like to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Lockyer Roadworthies, Simworx, Courage and Son, my teammate Jesse, and Foz and Foz tonight. He had a good battle, and also Greg, and hope he feels better soon.
For sure. Great drive, man. P2 tonight. And then Scott, P3 for Southern Cross Racing. Who would you like to thank, man?
Yeah, first of all, I've got to thank Keithy for putting the car together and the team together. It's been fantastic. Good work, buddy. Greg, unfortunately, you've had the night not to remember. But and all the admin, thanks for putting on a great show. It's great fun.
You got poleaxed at the start. I'm not sure if you saw it, but yeah, he got absolutely taken out at the start, Greg. He'll bounce back, don't worry. He's a good sport, and big thanks to Greg for putting all the hard work in with the admin team to get this series going. So thanks to our top 3, Group B tonight. Henry Fenson with the win, Anthony Connors P2, and Scott Baker making it 3. Well done, boys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Luke.
Cheers.
Have a good night.
Scott, was that a good night, or someone wanted to say one thing?
Just have a good night. Thanks, everyone.
Cheers, mate.
Great racing.
Legends. Righto. Thank you. That's all we've got time for tonight. Great to have the drivers in for a quick chat. But Jack Boyd, how strong was he tonight? Great win. Just too strong. We'll be back next week to head across to Silverstone. And then we have a week off. So tune in next week for round number 4 of the Roadster Rumble. But that was round number 3. Run and done. Jack Boyd, your winner.